What is up? You guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Sammy Elects the Hour. That's right, you guys. We needed something good this week, and this is the proper election right here tonight. This hour has been elected by Sammy, for Sammy, and through Sammy, you guys. I'm excited for it. Is the sound really low? You guys, let me know if you're having a hard time hearing. Let me know. But it looks like on my end it should sound good. Should sound good. You guys, I'm your tech tonight. I'm Annie Dies a Lot. Before we get this show officially on the road, I'm going to go over a few things that everyone can do at home to help the show go nice and smoothly. The very first thing, you guys, is go ahead, turn on those mics and those cameras. I see so many names in here, but only a few faces. Thank you to Katie and Brittany and Ila and Dregan. You guys, thanks for turning on your cameras. And also, you guys, give it up for Tessa. It's her birthday. Say happy birthday, Tessa.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Tessa.
Doing the night right, you guys. We are doing the night right. But yes, feel free to turn on those cameras. We get it if you want to stay anonymous. Totally fine. Totally fine. Go ahead and look at the bottom of your screen. There's going to be a reaction button. Go ahead and use that button. Tap it as much as you want to. Show us how you're feeling. It helps. It helps, you guys. Listen, you guys, we have awesome shows all week long over here at KO Comedy. Come hang out with us sometime. You guys can check out our shows at kocomedy.com. Go there, sign up for the email. You'll receive the links for all of our shows, you guys. We've got KO Friday tomorrow night with Michael Magid and Clay Newman. You guys, we've got Casey McNeil back on Sunday. Lots of fun shows going on, and everybody's invited. They're all free. We like to clown here. It's fun. It's fun. Twitch, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate everyone over there. Sarah Green, great to see you. You guys, Twitch has the world's worst AI comedian hanging out in the chat. Laughing Larry, that's right, he's terrible. He's god awful. If you want to talk to him, just drop a comment on Twitch, say at Laughing Larry AI, followed by your comment, and he's gonna say something dumb. That's what's gonna happen. He's not coming for your jobs yet. No. He's terrible. He is terrible. And if you guys want to go see what's happening on Twitch and you're here in the Zoom room, you can go to twitch.tv/Comedy Hub and hang out with Sarah and Laughing Larry and everybody else that's watching over there. All right, you guys. Let's see. There's really... Oh, yeah. Okay, you guys, tonight. You are welcome. You are welcome. Free show. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. That being said, we do still ask that you guys support the people that you're seeing here tonight. The best way you can do it is during sets. I'm going to go ahead and flash Instagram handles both on my screen and down in the chat. Give them a follow. Follow these people. They're awesome. They're awesome. Help their algorithm out. Also, you guys, we do take donations if you do feel, like giving us some donations. It's pretty easy. We take, wrong button, there we go. We take Venmo at KO-Comedy. We also take PayPal at KOComedyShows@gmail.com. And if you're watching over on Twitch, you guys, we take those bits as well. And you guys, we're not just going to take your money. Oh, no. We're going to go ahead. We're going to give you a shout out. That's right. We're going to give you a shout out. We're going to put your name on our donor board. And here's what it's looking like tonight, if I can find it. There it is. All right, for $5 an hour, for $5, you guys are going to get a second. No. Sammy did not elect for that. For $10, your name's going to go on a minute. Only, no, Sammy did not vote for that. For $15, your name could go on a day, but also Sammy didn't vote for that. What he did vote for was if you get $20, you're going to get your name on an hour, the elected hour. And for anything over 25, we're going to put your name on Sammy's face. Sammy electing the hour. That's what we're going to do for you. And you guys, that's about it. I do see, not sure if I sent it to the right account. That's okay. If you did send it to a different Sammy account, just let me know. I'll still get your name up on that board. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. It's time to get this show going. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for some comedy? Okay, let's bring the comedians on. You guys, I'm really excited. He used to host our Sunday show and he's back tonight. You guys, give it up for Che Sharma.
Hello. Hi.
Hello, hi.
Good to see you guys. I feel like I'm not the one qualified to be the first comedian to speak after Kamala's historic loss. Obviously historic because she's a woman. But it's good to be here nonetheless. We're getting through it with laughter, or we're celebrating because, hey, it's her fault. Jill's,
That's right.
it's on her. And you know what? We should be celebrating different women. Okay,
It's all her fault.
it is her fault, you know.
Right.
And I heard Taylor Swift is actually secretly happy that she didn't win, even though she endorsed Kamala, because Taylor Swift is famous for whenever another female artist gets a #1 song on the charts, she releases new music so she can become #1. And Taylor Swift is really happy that Kamala is not #1 right now. So shout out to Taylor Swift. We only stand her. And yeah, guys, I'm hoping at the very least that the economy is getting better. I hope it does. Right now, it seems like it is, because I'm at the point where I'm signing up for every class action lawsuit I get recommended on Instagram just to see if I win $1. You know, it's like a scratch off lottery for me. Yeah, absolutely. Like
Camp Lejeune.
What was that?
Camp Lejeune.
Camp Lejeune. Is that a feminine product? Because you know what? I think I purchased it back in back in 2018. I lost the receipt, but I'm sure someone will represent me. Yeah, dude. Someone was like, I got an ad that like Nintendo was selling my data online, and I love Nintendo, but business is business. So I'm suing their ass. And I hope they don't send Bowser to my house, because I might like it. Because like the rest of Americans, I like powerful men that have been around for 80 years.
Right.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah, that's
cool. My girlfriend and I recently broke up, and I'm honestly I'm relieved. Like, I don't know if you felt relieved when a relationship ended, but I'm relieved that I don't have to pretend to be fiscally solvent anymore. You know what I'm saying?
hey.
That's true, right? Because I love my woman and I want to be a man, so I want to provide for her. But I'm less of a man because I typically vote Democrat and I can't provide for her. But this time I wanted to pretend because I wanted to keep her. But I was unable to really purchase anything for her, so I had to play that off. My girlfriend has a sense of humor, but she also wanted nice things. Like one day, it was our anniversary, and she was like, "Hey, let's go for a nice dinner." And I was like, "Hey, wouldn't it be funny, if we just, go get dollartinis at Applebee's? How quirky would we be? Oh my God, we'd be so funny for that. If we get the 2 for $23 and then don't tip them, that would be hilarious, right? And I met her on a dating app, which had a lot of stigma, because I feel like everyone gets a little judgy when you meet someone on a dating app. I have my roommate, he hates meeting women on dating apps. And I'm like, going out is not better, right? I don't understand the dating app hate. Why are you trying to meet someone in a loud bar? What are you even saying there? You know, you can't even talk to someone. You're it's like a loud bar, the drinks are flowing, the music's thumping, you know, you don't have to necessarily get a drink, but you're in that environment at 3 a.m. because you're keeping the dream alive, and you're just saying stupid stuff you're like, "Oh my God, are you wearing Adidas? I love Adidas. They've been around since the 30s. I mean, I didn't love them in the 30s with all that, the whole Hitler thing, but that cool shoes. You're the superstar. You're wearing Superstars. You like that?" like, what's the point of that, you know? Like, at least in Hinge, you could get straight to the real conversations. Like, you could start real debates, like pineapple on pizza. So that's, I feel like that's more productive. I'm at the point in my dating history where I keep up with women in my past when they update their Hinge profiles. Like sometimes I'll get a little hope too. Though I'll scroll like in like years past in my Hinge and I'll be like, oh shit, Abby got bangs. It might be my time again. You know, like it seems like she might not be doing the best. So I think I could win out. You know, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna be a good brown person and get my mom to get me an arranged marriage. I'm ready
for it.
I'm ready to get an arranged marriage. Yep. And I like arranged marriages, you know, no riz, no problem. It's good to have that in your back pocket. That's brown privilege, you know. I was telling one of my white friends about arranged marriages and he looked at me and he was like, oh, an arranged marriage, I could never do that. And it's like, okay, you know, that's what white people say when you tell them about arranged marriages. It's like, I could never do that. It's like, all right, dude. Like, you weren't invited to participate, you know? Like, matter of fact, stay away from our women, Brayden. I hate to see it. I really do. I don't love it. Yeah, I knew my ex and I were going to break up when one day she texted me. I texted her, love you, and she texted me back, much love. Like, oh, much love. That's brutal. Like, what? Am I the guy at Chipotle giving you free guac? Like, that's much love. That's a much love. You know, I was really upset about it. I took a screenshot and I sent all my guy friends in a group chat, and all my guy friends are so mean. I'm like, chat, am I gonna get broken up with? And everyone's like, it's bad, bro. Like, we'll see you in the gym, okay? Like, all my girlfriends are so supportive. They're like, you know what? This is an opportunity for you to learn about yourself. Google anxious attachment, okay? Like, you might have been smothering her. And all my guy friends are like, nah, Google stoicism. Lock in, dude. Like, at least it didn't end toxic. Like my first ex and I were pretty toxic. We used to have arguments on Venmo. Like, I wish I was kidding, but what would happen is we'd get into an argument, we'd go home, we'd block each other on all platforms, including text. But you couldn't block people on Venmo back in the day, so I'd get $1 on Venmo at Chai Sharma. I get $1 on Venmo, and the memo would just read, unblock me. I'd send the $1 back, and I'd be like, no. She'd send the $1 back to me, and she'd be like, please. And I already know that I'm about to perpetuate this toxic cycle and get back with her. But before I did, I wanted to up the level of toxic, so when we did get back together, it was more passionate. Mm-hmm. So I sent her $100.
Nice.
And I wrote, leave me alone. And then she did. I was like, wait, what? Really? So I send her another $1, and I'm like, hey, give me my $100 back. She sends me that $1 back, and she tells me that she's keeping the $100, and much love for that. No. Yeah, thank you. Mm-hmm. I've been having a pretty stressful time. I got a massage. Actually, Sammy recommended me the masseuse. I'm hoping he could dig himself out of this later. But we were in Seattle, and I got a massage, and you know, it was like this really shady place because we still do shows on Zoom. We don't have a ton of money. And I walk in, it's like this rickety old house, like, you know, the lights turn on, it looks like no one has moved. There's dust on the tables, you know, and then this Asian lady comes out of the shadows and grabs my hand, and she begs me to not leave. And I'm like, there's no way I'm leaving. Sammy bought me this massage. It's prepaid, you know? And at the end of the massage, she's like, hey, you know, for an extra $50, I will, you know, rub you out. And I'm like, no way. You know, I'm a man of God. I would never do that, guys. I would never do that. I'm a great guy. You know, I like helping people. I'm a good person. I would never do that. But then I see that she gets a text, and her iPhone background is a picture of her and her young daughter. It looks like she was just entering kindergarten. And I'm like, damn, I am being so selfish right now. That extra $50 could put food on the table. It could keep the lights on. You know, it's back to school season. And so I look at that picture of her daughter, and I was like, you know what? This is for you. And I let her mother jerk me off. And I know a lot of you guys are mortified by this, but I was just trying to help, okay? I like to think I'm a good person, and I wanted to help. And he didn't pay for that part. That came out of my tour check, which was all of it. But that was $50 well spent, because you know what? I donated it to that woman, okay? I helped put food on her daughter's plate, and that's what I like to call a happy ending, all right? That's all. That's what I'm about. Anyway, I started comedy in San Francisco. That's where I met Sammy. I started in the gay district of San Francisco called the Castro. For some reason, the gays love me. It's because I have one dimple. I think they think like that I might, you know? It's like, you know. And it was interesting watching gay men interact with other people in those settings, because I found that like women are just okay with them being very handsy. And it's okay because they're gay. But I always found it to be a little strange and honestly inappropriate. Right, guys? Right? Well, okay, let me explain. Like, women, y'all are smarter than men, right? More intelligent, biologically, physically. I think those are the same things. More intelligent, clearly. But y'all like men, so that makes you less smart than lesbians. And I've never seen a lesbian grab a man's private and be like, it's cool, that's my bitch. You know, like, it doesn't happen. Anyway, that's my time. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. And
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. All right. Yeah. Please don't tell my mom I said all this. Thank you. Bye.
You guys give it up for Chai Sharma. Don't forget to follow Chai on Instagram at Chai Sharma. Just do it. Just do it. Thank you so much, Chai. That was great. All right, you guys, it is almost time for the main event. But before we start, I'm going to do what I promised. I'm going to give a few shout outs. So let me open up the board. Here we go. Here we go. All right, you guys, give it up. Birthday girl giving us gifts. Thank you so much, Tessa, with $25. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. Also, you guys, give it up for Catherine. Thank you so much, Catherine. Your name is now on a whole second. You guys, we've also got our regular William Reynolds. Is it even a KO show without William? Usually not. So thank you so much, William. And also, you guys, big shout out to Diana. Let's go. Thank you so much, Diana. Your name is now attached to Sammy's face. I hope it feels good. I hope it feels good. All right, you guys. Thank you so much, everybody. We're going to keep this show going because I know you guys are ready. You're here for the man of the hour. I'm ready to hear everything. So you guys, give it up for the person that you voted for tonight. That's right. You guys, it's Sammy Obeid.
Yay!
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. I just texted Chai. I said, great set. You're ready for the Trump era for sure. Thank you all. Thank you so much for coming out to Sammy Elects the Hour. This is an hour that, went through a democratic process in my head. You had absolutely no say in it. There was no nomination. And it looks like 46 people turned out. Isn't that crazy? 46 people turned out. Can we get one more? Get it? Sorry. I know for a lot of people, there's a lot of emotions this week. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about the election, especially because it happened 2 days ago. I write my hour over the course of the month. So First things first, let's just start with the most important thing. Peanut the squirrel. Okay. This is something that unfortunately we didn't get a lot of time to cover because the Peanut the squirrel thing happened and then the election happened. A lot of you don't even know about Peanut the squirrel. Make some noise if you know about Peanut the squirrel. Make some noise in the chat. I had to pick up the broken pieces too. Okay. I had to find the acorns. All right. Peanut the squirrel was a famous influencer squirrel. Okay. So in case you weren't already feeling bad enough about your life, this was a squirrel that had over 1 million followers on social media. Squirrel. Okay. It was the most famous squirrel in the world. Obviously the squirrel account was ran by a dude who was living in New York, upstate New York. Obviously, that's where you're going to find a squirrel and domesticate them in order to make sassy videos, right? Okay. The state finds out. I wonder how. And they basically came and they mandated the guy. Well, they basically confiscated Peanut and put him to sleep. So yeah, sorry, Brittany. Sorry, I know this is local news for you. They put Peanut. My personal opinion, it's a little fucked up. Obviously, they were saying there was a risk that he had rabies and stuff. You had to go through proper testing. Well, then test him. It's like, what kind of monsters does the state have to be to watch these adorable? I mean, go watch some of these Peanut the squirrel videos. They're literally adorable. It's this guy hanging out with a squirrel, he's giving him kisses, and then they come in and they're like, yeah, we're gonna kill the squirrel. It's like, just watch a few of the videos. Just watch a few of them, But anyways, they killed the squirrel, and then they also found out he had a raccoon too, so they killed that as well. I know this isn't funny, but hopefully it will be later. Give it 100 years, right? But basically, this suddenly became a political talking point. The following day, there was a massive Trump rally, and J.D. Vance brought it up, and he said that, wow, like the Democrats, they already want to tax you, they already want to let all these illegals in, and now they want to kill your pets. You know what I mean? And I was like, this does go in line a lot with like the eating the dogs and the eating the cats. You know what I mean? But they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're killing the squirrels too, right? Should have said that. But I will say, JD Vance definitely surprised me on that one, because the whole time he's been talking shit about crazy cat lady, but he finally stuck it up for influencer squirrel man. So I do really appreciate and respect that a lot. Well, the squirrel's dead, and I think that's very symbolic of the times. You have an influencer squirrel. This election happens. Everybody's trying to figure out what went wrong. Who's to blame. I think them killing the squirrel is what lost the election. That's my take. But some people blame George Clooney for telling Biden to step down. It's also interesting that we live in a world where you had to get George Clooney to write a letter to get an old man not to kill himself being president. But yes, they killed the squirrel. J.D. Vance, by the way, after Trump won, you really realize this whole time everybody was wondering why Trump picked J.D. Vance. And it's very clear why he picked J.D. Vance now, because that's his insurance, so nobody assassinates him. Right. Absolutely nobody wants J.D. Not even Republicans want J.D. Vance to be president.
That's exactly what I thought.
Yes. So it's assassination insurance. So yeah, there you go. Right. Couch fucker can only be vice. That's kind of a line that we have. But yes. So I think that a lot of people are very much blowing out of proportion the ramifications of this election. Saying like, oh, the Democrats, RIP Democrats, the Democrats will never there will never be a Democratic Party after this. It's like, no, I mean, the Democratic Party has been around for what, like over 250 years now, almost 250 years, close to 250 years. Yeah, I mean, the Democratic Party survived slavery. That's, the Democratic Party was the pro-slavery party for like 100 years. So I think they can survive this bad PR. Sorry if this is too touchy for some of you guys, but yeah, basically should not have fucked over Bernie Sanders 4 years ago. I think that's the kind of the moral everybody is taking away from this whole thing. But anyways, we're gonna find someone to blame, anybody but ourselves, please. I will not accept any kind of self-responsibility. I'm gonna put the squirrel first, okay? But bottom line is, Kamala is officially not going to be president, and thousands of writers have lost their jobs. Can I do that joke again? Kamala is not going to be president, and thousands of writers lost their jobs. Okay. All right. You guys get it? Okay, whatever. It's a SAG joke. And yes, obviously I was not invested in this election. The outcome of it, can't think of a possible reason why. But I voted, I voted for Jill Stein just to fuck around. I live in California. I don't like it. It didn't matter. Like I could have voted for Peanut the Squirrel. It would have still came out blue. You know what I'm saying? But people were just giving me a lot of shit about the Jill Stein thing. I didn't even like full on endorse her. I just made some posts suggesting that I was voting for her. And they were saying things like, "Oh, Jill Stein, she's a Russian asset." And I'm like, "Yes, and I love Russians. I love assets. Like those are two great things that I like." And he's like, "Well, Jill Stein, she only comes around every 4 years." I'm like, "Where the fuck has Kamala been the last 4 years?" I literally heard her say 2 words in the last 4 years: "Don't come." Okay. And I listened. So I understand, though. I understand a lot of my friends are, they're Democrats. They wanted to see a woman president. I get it. We're going to have a woman president. It's going to happen. Okay. It's going to happen. All right. Because with all the world wars going on, all the men are going to be dead in like 5 years. There's going to be a woman president. Okay? Don't you worry. And yes, we wanted another black president, or we wanted an Indian president. If it's any consolation, we now have an Indian vice lady. So there you go. And the future head of the Department of Government Efficiency is African. Sorry, South African. So yeah. I don't know if you guys like apartheid, but that's going on. So, but listen, I get it. If you are, perhaps if you are a black woman, maybe you really wanted to see Kamala win. I get it. Like, trust me. Like, if DJ Khaled was running for president, okay, and you're like, that's a fucked up comparison, Sammy. Kamala was a lawyer who won case after case. And yeah, DJ Khaled, another one. but there would be a little part of me. They'd be like, oh, cool. A guy in the same identity bracket as me is, has the chance. But like, if somebody said, hey, DJ Khaled can be president right now, or you can wait, 12 years and have the Palestinian kid who raps can be president. I'm like, well, I'll wait for him. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, it's a touchy time for everybody, and I don't want to, rub any more salt on the wounds. But maybe if Cardi B didn't read off of her phone, maybe they would have won. Maybe I don't know. Just an idea. She literally read off of her phone for the whole speech that she gave. But they're saying that a lot of people are saying that Kamala ran a flawless campaign, but I think they meant hashtag flawless, like Beyonce. Last thing I will say about the loss is it was a landslide. And if you look at the electoral map, it was literally red from coast to coast. I mean, you literally could draw a line from Florida all the way up through Alaska, and even Canada voted red. That's like how bad it was. And you could draw a line like from Florida all the way to Alaska, and it was just all red. So at least the Democrats finally got to see a red line. All right. Okay. Come on. Should they have actually done a nomination and had Gavin Newsom? I don't know. People talk a lot of shit about Gavin Newsom, but I will tell you, during the pandemic, he threw a lot of great parties. So if you know, you know. All right. Okay, I'll leave it at that for now. Maybe I'll come back to more of that later. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. You know, if you follow me, thank you so much for following me. I appreciate it. I've been getting a lot of new fans this year. And the most common thing I hear from them is they'll say like, "Where have you been?" You know? And I'm just like,
Where have you been?
yeah, exactly. We're like, I exist too. I'm a person. You know what I mean? Like, where the fuck have you been? In fact, I've been doing this for almost 20 years, and I've been posting daily. I've put out like millions of videos. So if anything, I've been trying to get your attention this whole time. But yes, I am me. I am here. You've been here. We are here together. And that's all that matters. The last year I've been touring a lot, and I've not been exercising at all because I had a shoulder injury last year, and I had to force myself to not work out at all because it was every time I would work out, I would re-injure it. So I had to force myself to like be as lazy as possible. I'm like a reverse gym bro. I'm like, get on the couch, sit down, eat some popcorn. Pull out your phone and let everybody know those opinions that nobody cares about, you know? I love that. I love that literally the world is so heated right now. We can literally get on our phones. You can literally start World War III with like one tweet. It's amazing. You know what I mean? We've never individually had this much power as people. You know, it's crazy that people on social media are the angriest. Do you ever notice that? Like the angriest of all. Like there's actual literal wars going on, and there's soldiers on the battlefield like throwing weapons at each other, but they're like focused. You know what I mean? They don't have time to hate like we do, you know? But meanwhile, like one guy told me I wasn't funny, and I was just pacing around the house just like heated, you know? Like, yeah. And that's why, and this is why I make this very clear. I'm very transparent about this. This is why I don't own a gun. Okay. I'm not fully anti-gun. I think that there should be restrictions and all that stuff. I think people should have the right to have guns if they want to do it responsibly. But personally, I don't want a gun. I don't want a gun anywhere near me because I know me. And anytime I've ever had the thought, you know, I should get a gun, it's not for the right reasons. I've never had the thought like, oh, you know, I should get a gun to defend my family, or, you know, I should get a gun to take up hunting or do target practice. It's always like, I was like, if I had a gun, that motherfucker with a loud car would have his tires popped out. I'd be like, and you get a bullet, and you get a bullet, and you get a bullet. I'd be like AR Oprah. You know what I mean? And yeah. You know the saying, a good guy with a gun stops a bad guy with a gun. I'm the bad guy with a gun in that saying, like every time. And that's why I don't want a gun, because I don't shame myself for having angry thoughts or violent thoughts. I just don't put them in action, and that's why I'm not going to get a gun. That's why they're called guns, because you're gonna do it. Okay.
Oh.
So that's deep. But I am very spiritual person. Spiritual, by the way, spiritual comes from the Latin root spiritus. Spiritus just means breath. So spiritual is basically anything involving breathing. So going for a walk is very spiritual. Going up a flight of stairs that you weren't ready for is very spiritual. Getting scared at a haunted house, also very spiritual. Having panic attacks is the most spiritual shit you can do. I need to calm down on the caffeine though, for sure, because my favorite combination is coffee and chocolate. I love having coffee and then chasing it with coffee and chocolate is a divine symbiosis that we don't really appreciate enough. It's basically like Coke and Molly, which I wouldn't know about, but it's good stuff. But I don't fuck with those energy drinks. That's like that fentanyl. I don't fuck with that. I used to be lactose intolerant as a kid, but I'm not anymore. I don't know what happened. It's crazy. It's like I remember when I was a kid, I was like I had to like stay away from milk stuff because it just didn't do me well. And then at some point, God was like, "You've paid your dues." It's tough being lactose intolerant because, dairy it's everywhere, even places they'll put like milk powder and milk and ingredients, so they'll have milk lying around. It's even if you tune out of all that and you do vegan and stuff and, there's still, it's just like, you might go to the middle of nowhere sometimes and it's only milk drinks. And then it's like, even if you go to another country, like in Europe, like they don't even know what almond milk is. And then, and then even if you like leave the planet, you're still in the Milky Way. All right. Okie dokie. So I did some traveling in this last month. I went to the Middle East, which a lot of people don't like when you call it that because it's a colonial term, which I understand, but there's been no proposed term that's better. Some people say Swana or Mena. It shouldn't even be called the Middle East anyways because it's like where East meets West. I call it Middle Earth.
Aww.
It's a great place for second breakfast. And
taters.
before I went to Annie, we're recording by the way, right?
We are.
Cool. Before I went to the Middle East, I told it to this comic friend. Comics, they like to say stupid shit. And I was like, I'm going to the Middle East. He's like, oh, what are you gonna do? Eat hummus and abuse women? I'm like, wow, like that's fucked up, and not funny. You should do a Trump rally. But yeah, he said you're gonna eat hummus and abuse women, but it's like I'm for sure gonna eat hummus like that. Like he was half right. I didn't appreciate the stereotype, so it was my first time doing an official Middle East tour because I have fans all over the world, but I never done anything for the Middle East fans. I have fans in like a lot of European cities, like more European cities than I even know, like Munich, Brussels, Tel Aviv, like the most European of cities. And finally did some shows for my fans in the Middle Earth region, and I went to Dubai first, and I was hesitant. I was about to cancel the Dubai show. It was kind of it was a whole thing. Like I booked it like a year ago, and then following everything that's going on and having a lot of activist fans, like the UAE has a role in funding the RSF militia, which is just terrorizing Sudan. It's a horrible thing. And so for that reason, and a lot of other UAE politics, especially when it comes to Israel, people are boycotting the UAE. And so I was like, shit, like, should I cancel the show? And I was like, maybe I'll just go and I'll like donate some money and like nobody will notice that I went. Maybe I just won't tell anybody that I'm going and just go and like perform for nobody, And then Macklemore canceled his show in Dubai and everybody's like, that's a true hero. That's a legend. Macklemore, that's someone who gives a fuck about Palestinians. I'm like, oh fuck. Um, so but also he was playing the Coca-Cola Arena. You know what I mean? I'm playing like the Zabeel Theater, which is like 100 times smaller. But I decided to go and donate some proceeds to Sudan. And the thing is that in all of these Arab nations, they have shitty, complicit puppet governments who basically are, put into place, however, and act as proxies for the United States. When really the people of these countries are very much in solidarity with Palestine. And so I wanted to perform for those people. And so I get there and I was, but I was wondering because they were telling me like I might not be able to be like super outwardly talk about the situation. And I get there and there's Palestinian flags everywhere. Just like everywhere. Just I get to Dubai, it's like Palestine flag. I'm like, they give a fuck so much about the Palestinians. Then after realize, like looking at the flag waving closer, I'm like, oh, that's like the UAE flag. It's the same color. But it's also like, how could you not care about your brothers and sisters over there? You got almost the same flag. You know what I mean? But they told me when I did the show in Dubai, they're like, because I'm like, so there's obviously some content restrictions, right? What do you not want me to talk about? And they're like, no, you can talk about anything you want. And I was like, okay, so like politics? They're like, no, not that. I was like, okay, like sex jokes? Like, no, not that. I'm like, can I talk about the government's complicity in the genocide in Gaza? They're like, no, definitely not that. I'm like, what am I going to talk about? What have I fucking left? Have you seen my set? I have nothing. So went up there and made fun of vegans for an hour. And they sorry, someone had to take one. Yeah, I mean, the thing about Dubai is the UAE it's interesting. Like everybody there is a visitor. Like there's very few people who consider themselves Emiratis who actually like live there. They usually have a lot of money, but most people are literally they're there on a visa, and it's just a lot of people working under like these very rich Arabs who are just trying to basically maintain their wealth. But yeah, they had an organic food store, so I was okay with it. Organic. And then I went to Jordan. That was very fun. Although the turnout in Jordan was good, but the venue the venue was clearly like very different than the culture in Jordan, because first of all, it was called the Rainbow Theater, okay, which in Jordan, like it just didn't really like you have like mosque here, you have like a hookah shop there, and then you have like the Rainbow Theater, and I remember like I got in there, and like I was like talking to the the security passport control, whatever. And then he's like, where are you from? And I was like, United States. He's like, no, where are you from? And I was like, I'm Lebanese. And he's like, okay. He's like, and then he's like, you gay? I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, he's like, oh, he's like kind of like joking with me. And he's like, I'm a performer. I'm performing. He's like, where are you performing? I'm like, the Rainbow Theater. He's like, okay. So I go to the Rainbow Theater, and the thing is, they promoted the show with a clip of mine. There was like a clip about the female orgasm being 10 times better than male orgasm. And I was like, yo, like, you think that's going to reach the demographic here? But apparently it worked and the show sold out. So it actually went very well. But that was cool. Then I went to, in Jordan, they're like, no, here you can for real talk about anything. I'm like, okay, cool. So I can talk about the government's complicity in the genocide in Gaza. Like, okay, anything but that. You guys are really, you really booked the wrong guy. And then I went to Egypt. And in Egypt, they were like, no, for real here, you can actually talk about God. I was like, thank God, finally. They're like, but just don't talk about the one guy in charge. I'm like, oh, okay. The guy at the top of the pyramid, if you know what I mean. And I told them, I was like, fine, I will respect your rules, but I ain't no sissy. And that's exactly what I said to them. And Egypt was incredible. I mean, it was pure chaos. It was pure chaos. Like you'd be on the, I swear to God, I was on the road, and like like their traffic just like gridlock traffic that moves steadily at like 5 miles an hour, and like we were driving on the road, and like there was a bunch of kids on skateboards, and they were just like holding on to cards and getting like a free ride, like across town. And then I saw a cat driving a motorcycle. It was pretty wild. It was very wild. But yes, when I got to Egypt, people were like, "Oh, beware! Like beware! The Egyptians they're gonna try to scam you." And I was like, "No, listen, I'm a good guy. I'm smart. I can see a scam a mile away. Whatever." And I get to the airport, go through passport control. He's like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "I'm American." He's like, "No, where are you from?" I'm like, "Lebanese." He's like, "You gay?" I'm like, "What's going on?" And then he looks at my passport. He's like, "Okay." And then he calls over this other guy who's not wearing as formal of a suit. And the other guy like flips through my passport. He's like, "American, huh?" He's like, "Okay, come this way." And then I'm like, "Oh fuck! Like what's going on?" And I was also like, Egypt is one of the biggest recipients of American aid. I'm like, how much fucking aid do we have to pay for me to get through this process quickly, right? And so he takes me over. He escorts me through this other security, and they search my bags, and then he takes me out, and he's like, "All right." He's like, "Yeah, I had to escort you just to make sure they were going to let you in because you've been to so many places on your passport, so they were a little suspicious." And I was like, "Oh." I was like, "That was really nice of you." He's like, "Yeah, tip." I was like, "Okay, 25." I gave him $25. He's like, "That's it?" I was like, "Get the fuck out of here, man!"
Wow.
Like, yeah. So yeah, I was pissed. I was like, "Dude, like seriously, our tax dollars go to Egypt because of the Suez Canal and our complicity in having them basically keep Gaza contained for more economic imperialism." But like, how did we give them all this fucking money? And then I realized, oh, they probably scammed us out of it. So we went for a boat trip on the Nile. It was really cool. The boat driver fell asleep. It was a little scary. And then he was supposed to take us out on the Nile for an hour, but he only took us for 45 minutes. And we're like, "Hey, this was only 45 minutes." He's like, "It was good." And I was like, you know how like usually they'll do like 25% off? That was 25% on. Pretty fucking cool. Oh, and then in Egypt, I stayed in Giza, which there was a specific district called the 6th of October. I don't know if any of you been to Egypt, but they have a district in Cairo, specifically like it's either in Giza or like right north of Giza. It's called the 6th of October, which I found a little bit ironic. You know what I mean? No. Because yeah, it's called the 6th of October because I don't. It's related to like an Islamic holiday, but I nobody told me about this. So to me, it was like very shocking that they put me up in a hotel in the 6th of October, and I'm talking about Palestine. And so I'm like, yo, like, what's the deal? Like, they call this place the 6th of October. Like, like everybody's talking about like how Egypt knew the October 7th was going to happen before it did. I'm like, maybe this was a fucking clue, You know how they always say like, "Oh, well, there was a ceasefire on October 6th." Like that's what they're talking about. But yeah, I thought that was weird. And then after Egypt, I picked up and I went to the only democracy in the Middle East, Turkey. So Turkey was very fun. People were very nobody there actually gave me this shit. But when I went to Turkey, I put it on my flyer saying in the Middle East tour, and people were like, "Oh, Turkey's not in the Middle East." I'm like, "Where the fuck do you think it is?" Like Turkey is half in Europe, half in Asia. That's like you can literally jump over one side of Turkey and you're like in Asia in 1 minute, and you're in the Europe the other minute. But it's like that part of West Asia is considered by many to be the Middle East, aka Middle Earth. But yes, a lot of people were very upset. They wanted to be in Europe, even though NATO's trying to kick them out. But yes, and then I went to Greece, and yeah, I went to Greece. Obviously because of the election, I wanted to see where democracy for white men only started. And, Greece, I mean, it was fascinating, really, just seeing all the ruins and people there. They didn't really seem to have jobs, which I liked. They were just kind of chilling. And then from Greece, I went to Milan, and the thing is, some of you might know this. I'm 1/8 Italian, from the ankles down. I'm a slice of pizza Italian, and 6th of October, after the 6th of October War of 1973. That's what it was. Which, yeah, they should have told me that. So I go to Milan, and so basically my Italian heritage traces to right north of Milan. It's called Lake Como. And I'd heard, my mom had told me this and stuff. And so I wanted to share that with the Italian crowd. I said, yeah, guys, I'm just, I thought I was going to connect with them. Like, 1/8 Italian, family traces to Lake Como. And they're like, oh, so you got money. I was like, what? They're like, yeah, people who live in Lake Como are rich. I'm like, well, I didn't fucking hear about this money. Like, let's go get it. Is it buried in the lake? And then I thought, like, am I like part of the Cuomo dynasty? Am I like related to Andrew Cuomo? Shit, man, I better be mayor of New York soon. Shit, or governor, or whatever he was. But yeah, so that was cool. And then I went to Rome, and did all the touristy shit there. I did the Colosseum. The Colosseum, it was quite eerie because, if you've, heard the history or watched, Gladiator, you would know that some wild shit happened at the Colosseum. I mean, like some bloody, vicious shit where people went and they laughed and cheered. So you could feel that vibe. It was like this mix of of darkness, but also like, entertainment. So it was interesting. It was like, how could, how could you have like such deep tragedy and death and gore, and then people leave laughing, And then I was like, oh, that reminds me of my career. Italian TSA, and I don't think they're called TSA, but Italian airport security. They gave me a pat down. It was the most Italian thing ever. The guy, he touched, right? He's like, he first of all, he like patted my shirt down to see if I had anything on my shirt, and then he went like, and then he touched my crotch. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I swear to God. Yeah, people saw it. It was the weirdest thing. That's the Italian. It's the Italian search. One thing I didn't mention was before I left. When I left Dubai, I got a bunch of food at this really good Palestinian place before I left. Like I ordered a bunch of things. I ordered like hummus and baba ganoush, and the airline that I took, Royal Jordanian, like really tiny seats. So I couldn't fit any of the food under my seat. So I asked the flight attendant to put it in the compartment above me. And which sucks because, you want to bring your food on the flight.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to put it in the compartment. And then in the middle of the flight, I got hungry. So I asked the flight attendant if she could, open the compartment for me and get my food. And there was a little bit of turbulence at the time. And she opened up the compartment and the hummus came flying out and hit the woman next to me right in the head. So my friend was totally right. Crazy. All right, let's take a quick little break and water break, and I'll be right back.
All right, you guys, give it up for Sammy. He'll be right back. So you guys, while Sammy's getting water, go for it. Get some water yourselves. I am going to give a few shout outs here. Let's see. There we go. Buttons are hard sometimes. Here we go. Buttons. There it is. I found the button. I found it. It happened. Yeah, you guys, thank you so much for supporting Sammy tonight. We appreciate you. Big shout outs again to Tessa, Catherine, Diana, William. Thank you so much. And also, you guys, give it up for Mother Nipplebottom, dropping 200. Thank you so much, Mother Nipplebottom. We're going to put you right there. We're going to put you right there. And you guys, Sammy still has a little bit more left to go. So if you want to get your name up here, it's pretty easy. I just heard something else come through. I will post that after Sammy's second half. There we go. Buttons. Yeah, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We've got great shows all week long. So feel free to come hang out with us. It's pretty easy. You guys can go to our website, kocomedy.com, sign up for the email. You'll receive the links, not just for this show, but for all of our shows. You guys, tomorrow night, we've got KO Friday with Michael Magid. He'll be there. Before that, we'll have the Living Room show. Sunday night, Casey McNeil is hosting. It's going to be a good time, you guys, so definitely come on through. And Twitch, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Dark Secret, Sarah Green, always good to see you guys. Mother Nipplebottom, and welcome to Benji. I think this is your first time chatting. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. If you guys ever want to come hang out with us, like I said, in the Zoom room, kocomedy.com. But if you're here in the Zoom room and you want to see what's going on at Twitch, it's at twitch.tv/Comedy Hub. That's where you can hang out with all of these fine people. All right, you guys. I think it might be about time to get back to some comedy. Sammy, are you back? It looks like Sammy's back. And thank you guys so much for donating. If you do want to donate still, it is pretty easy, you guys. We take Venmo at KO-comedy. We take PayPal, KOComedyShows@gmail.com. And if you're watching on Twitch, we take those bits. All right, you guys, let's get back to the show. And don't forget to give him a follow at Sammy Obeid. You guys, it's Sammy Obeid. Let's go.
Hey, I'm back. Thank you. I recently calculated the average number of times that I wear a shirt before I spill on it. And it's one. It's one. The mode is one. The mode is one. And the median is 2, but the mean is 1.15. So I basically... chances are I wear a shirt and then the next time I wear it is getting something on it. So that's why I have a hoodie covering up to here, actually. That's how you can keep shirts longer. Cool. Let's see. What else did I not do today? Oh, Liam Payne passed away. You guys hear about that one? Liam Payne, famous musical artist, jumped off of a building. Yeah, I mean, apparently, I think it was a suicide I mean, there's been there was conspiracies that somebody pushed him. And so, yeah, I don't know if you heard like all that discussion. It's like, oh, was it a ex-lover? Was it a friend? Was it his family? And I was like, I hate to be that guy, but it was gravity. I know, that's messed up. That's how gravity works. It's a force just goes like that. It's just one direction. Right, good. Cool. Oh, little life hack. This actually is not that useful because it's not. I only had this problem when I was in Europe. There's a lot of places in Europe that if you want to order from a restaurant, they did not offer pickup. They only offered delivery. Okay. This chances are, if you tend to order from restaurants, this is something that will affect you at some point. There are restaurants out there that for whatever reason do not do takeaway. They do not do pickup, but they do delivery. And this happened countless times to me in Europe. I don't know why. The apps, they just don't allow pickup, but they allow delivery. So the little life hack was I would order delivery and I would just have it delivered to the restaurant. So there you go. Yeah. And in Italy, for some reason, I knew that ciao meant goodbye, but I didn't know that it meant hello too. Isn't that crazy? Nobody ever told me that shit. I'm actually, I decided I'm going to open a restaurant. It's an Italian Chinese restaurant that also has like arcade in the back. Yeah, ciao fun. so, okay, all right. Oh yeah, let's talk about that massage story that Chai said I was allegedly involved in. I'll tell you. I mean, Chai, you still here? Do you leave? I already told the story in Maui. So I love getting massages. I probably go like once a week when I can, and I'm talking about the legal ones, by the way. And this is not to say that I've not gone into a place that offers you more. Oh, trust me, I've gone. You can't even avoid it. Like they're everywhere. And I'm not going to lie to you and say that I've never actually partaken in that service before. I have, but I don't want that. I go to get a massage, and I find that offer to be the opposite of what I'm going for. I'm going to relax. I'm not going to get worked up or, worry about how long I take. You know what I mean? I'm going to get a massage, and to me, those two things are polar opposites. And so oftentimes I will go to a place and they will either offer or they will start to touch me inappropriately. And it's funny because if you ever go to get a massage, you notice at a lot of these places, they will have a sign. Some of them have a sign that says, "We only offer professional services. Do not ask for favors." It's always the ones that have the signs that are like biggest and boldest that do offer those services. Something that I've noticed. And also, if you ever look, the signs are always very vague. They're like, "We only offer professional services," but they're like, "Yeah, that includes hand jobs, whatever, whatever." So yes, I on the road, I get massages, and often these, it'll turn out to be a shady place, and I don't mind. I like the attention, but I turn it down, and I feel very empowered when I turn it down. Like I feel very proud of myself. No, I will not do sexual stuff with you for my money. But this happened. We were in Seattle, and this was 2 months ago, and I went to get a massage right before the show, and I found I only had a very small amount of time, so I needed to find a place that does half hours, because a lot of places they don't do half hours; they'll only do an hour. And so you typically have a place is that flexible and they only offer half hour, they'll also offer other stuff. So whatever. But I went in and the massage therapist was very touchy-feely already, like really trying to make the most of that half hour. And I was like, no, I'm here for a massage. And she was sad. She's a little sad, that I wasn't extra services. And so I felt bad. So I was like, hey, I know the guy for you. Because Chai actually, he was going through a breakup at the time. So I was like, buddy, let me cheer you up. Here's $50. Don't spend it all in one place, right? So I'm just kidding. I didn't pay for it, but I referred him, and I said, make sure you tell her that you're my friend, and he got a whole bit out of it. So I'm happy for him. Let's see. Cool. What did I want to do next? So yeah, sometimes with these, I write things down, but I don't write the context down. So I have one thing that says life is one slow heart attack. I don't know the context of that. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just there's so many things to talk about right now, but they're also, I mean, I did a show in the South recently, and I merely said that the polar ice caps could use more ice. That's all I said. That's all I said. And the room was just like, God, people got angry, people like yelling, like, climate change is real. No, it's not. It's hoax. And wow, just like polarizing, R.I.P. Peanut. Okay, dokie. It was interesting though, the Trump rally they had a week before, where Tony Hinchcliffe, I don't know if you saw this, but Tony Hinchcliffe, who's a successful comedian, he has the podcast Kill Tony. He did a joke where he said there's a literal patch of garbage floating in the ocean right now. Yeah, I think it's called Puerto Rico. Yeah, like really obviously very racist joke, but if you've seen Tony's set, like that's like the least offensive joke in his set. So it was like not surprising to comedians. Also, that joke probably does work in a lot of places in America. So it was a very poor choice. I mean, in general, also just very poor choice, because it's like, if you've been to Puerto Rico, it's like actually very lovely. It's a beautiful place. Like the rainforest is really nice. The beaches are really nice. People are really nice. So it's a poor choice. You could literally, that joke structurally could work. If you said, oh, there's a literal patch of garbage floating in the ocean right now, it's called the United States of America. Like suddenly that's a little more inclusive. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Obviously,
Absolutely.
not going to work as well at the Trump rally, right? So he could have said it's United States of America under Biden. So anyways, I'm just saying, hire me as a writer next time. But yeah. So what else did I want to say about that? No, nothing. I mean, listen, one thing I will say that the Trump campaign is right about is the illegals coming from Latin American countries they're coming through the border, and they're going straight to the polls and voting for Trump. Crazy. It's crazy. Somebody's got to stop it. Isn't that crazy though? Like literally, that's like that was like the whole thing, was that the migrants are coming up, and the Democrats want the migrants to move to these sanctuary cities so they can have more votes. And then the spoiler alert is that Latino men were the ones who drove the Trump victory. But like, I could have fucking told you that. I could have told you that most immigrants, maybe not most, but a lot of immigrants who come to the United States, immediately they come and they get American flag everything. They're like, fuck this, I'm fucking Republican. So it's like, it was already a very bad argument, but just kind of went to show. I'm surprised that people, the people disagree so much on immigration. It's like, you ask yourself, like, okay, the United States is built on immigrants. So obviously, to a degree, we need immigration and we need new ideas. And we need novel concepts, but nobody actually wants an open border. Like nobody, if you have a home, if you have a house, you have an apartment, you have a cat, and you leave it behind and then you go to the border, and let's say the border's open that day. Let's say the border's open and they're just allowing everybody to come through. And you're trying to be the most positive about it you can. So you're like, awesome, welcome to America. Thanks for coming. Let's go. Let's do this. Awesome. How many people walk into where you start to get like a little bit scared? You know what I mean? It's like, you're like, oh, come on, America. Yeah, thank you. And they're like, oh, that guy looks dangerous, And then after like 3 million people walk in, you're like, oh shit, like they're eating my cat, So I don't know, whatever you think. I'm just saying that, like, I think that people virtue signal too much when it comes to immigration. Like it should literally be transactional, just like romantic relationships. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like, listen, yes, let's get some more people from various places into this country, but like, what are you gonna do for us? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't know if it's giving massages, great. Okay. So, okay, let's see here. So you might know I'm a Palestinian civilian, or as Israelis would call me, a human shield. And I say I'm voting for DJ Khaled. No, that's not the joke. What's funny is that DJ Khaled has been he's been silent this whole time. But it's like he had to stop. He had to like disable comments on his posts, because like if you like 6 months ago, before he disabled the comments, like every post would be like it would be like a picture of him in his backyard, and then like you just see a post like, you fat fuck, you haven't talked about Palestine, and then so he had to start like blocking all those things. But like now if you just see him, he's always like eating with his kids. He's just always like eating. He's like always eats something and then he offers it to his kids and his kids don't want it. That's like what he does. But that's our ambassador. Yeah, I posted something about Palestine recently, and this guy messaged me. He's like, you wouldn't last a day in Gaza. And I'm like, yeah, I know. That's what I've been saying. I've been saying the conditions there are so horrible that people are not lasting. That's like the whole premise of genocide. And he's like, well, why don't you go there then? I'm like, what the fuck? Are you not fucking getting what I'm saying? You're basically asking me you basically want me to die at that point. That the same threat, the threat, you see the threat that was made to Mehdi Hassan, my friend Mehdi Hassan, on that, was it CNN panel, where they were having a debate and they were like talking about Lebanon, and the guy was like, well, I hope your beeper doesn't go off, which is so fucked up. Yeah, because he was implying that Mehdi finally became a doctor. It was so fucked up. Okay, fine. So, and that's the thing, like, that I will say, that's that when I, every now and then I'll make like a racist joke that like some people, they're like, oh, that was too far. But that's where I'm like my white fans will stick up for me. You know what I mean? That's what I'm telling you, man. White people, you get canceled for a racist joke, like they're there. You know what I mean? Like, And there, brother. But yeah, so yeah, in a situation, Lebanon's, they're saying it's improving like a little bit. I'm proud of the Lebanese, man. The Lebanese, they're strong. They stood their ground. And Lebanese guys they're pretty boys. You know what I mean? They'll fuck you up and they'll check their hair. But the Lebanese are inherently fun people. The Lebanese love to party. And you know this because Jesus' first miracle, turning water into wine, happened in southern Lebanon. Did you know that? That was miracle number one. Number one. Before that, Jesus was just like a regular guy. Okay? But then one day he's walking in the desert with 2 jugs of water. Everyone's like, Jesus, like, what's going on with the water? He's like, just chill, bro. Just wait. Right? Steps over the Lebanese border, the water turns into wine, the DJ pops out of nowhere, they just start popping bottles like, hey! Miracle. Like, was it even a miracle or was it just Lebanon? Yeah. Oh, there you go. But yeah, no, hopefully this gets resolved soon. I feel a lot of people getting the fatigue about the subject, and somebody even recently asked me, they're like, Sammy, why do you do so many jokes about Israel Palestine? And I'm like, because no one else is like doing it. Like, it almost feels like I have to take them because nobody, I treat jokes about Palestine like a settler does a Palestinian's home in the West Bank. Like, if I don't take this, someone else will. And they're like, yeah, but why do you just keep doing them? I'm like, well, I do it for an occupation. That's what people get upset when you say that, Palestine's occupied. It's like, oh, Palestinians are occupied. Like, they're not really occupied. Like, what do you want me to say? They're busy? So fucked up. But people are like, aren't you worried that they're going to target you? I'm like, no, I mean, listen, I'm a US citizen. Okay. So, okay. Well, I mean, if they target me, first of all, it'll be good for my career. Right. Okay. I'm a US citizen, which obviously that doesn't stop them, but I'm a comedian. Okay. And I have a good reputation in the comedian world. Okay. You kill a comedian. Oh my God. You're going to have a million open micer Tony Hinchcliffes going after you. You don't want that. That's literally, it's going to be a war of the most vicious jokes. You don't want that. But yeah. Yeah, so now that Trump's in office, everyone's like, oh, but Trump's going to be worse, and it's like, could it be any worse? You know what I mean? Like, start the clock, right? Start the clock as soon as Trump gets in office in January, and actually count. Start counting the damage. People will be like, well, now there's nothing that's going to stop Netanyahu. Like who's going to stop Netanyahu now? Like, the resistance, just like before, they're trying to ban the, the symbol of Palestinian resistance is the upside down red triangle. They're trying to ban that on, Meta now. Isn't that crazy? You're banning shapes. That offends me, not even as a Palestinian, but as a fan of Pythagorean theorem. Like, you can't just ban triangles. You know what I mean? But I tell people, if they ban the upside down right triangle, have no fear. Look over at the red heart emoji, right? Because if you look at the bottom of the red heart emoji, it's an upside down red triangle. So makes sense, right? Because and red heart, because the red heart is like love. It's love, So you could You could just flash that red heart and be like, it's love. And, nobody will know what you really mean by it. But yeah, I mean, no, every red heart emoji has the resistance symbol in it, because what is love? What is love but resistance, but that's why now people ask me, like, do you support Palestinian resistance? I'm like, from the bottom of my heart. Yeah, I'm sorry that the top of my heart's gone missing. But yeah, no, it's still tough watching this every day, and and it's like, it's crazy because, like, we're over a year in. I remember a year ago when I did my hour, and like the theme of the hour was like, when is it? Today we examined the philosophical question of when is it okay to bomb a hospital. And I told a story about a time that I did really badly performing in a hospital, and like since then, like they bombed like hospitals like hundreds of times. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. It's like, how is the world not stopping that? Like, how is that not a red line? It's bombing a literal hospital. It's like, like people say, this is the thing that pisses me off the most, is they'll say like, well, we do care about civilian. We do care about life, and that's why we're minimizing collateral damage. It's like, motherfucker, if you cared about life, you wouldn't be using the term collateral damage, And they'd be like, well, the civilian casualty ratio is still relatively low when you compare it to Dresden. Dresden? Yeah. Oh, great. Of course. Because let's use the standard of morality from the fucking 1940s. Yeah. I didn't know that's how we decide what's good or bad, by looking at the Second World War, But then I realized, like, oh yeah, of course, that makes sense. World War II, at the same time when there was a literal Holocaust going on and nobody was doing shit about it. So checks out. Great. That wasn't supposed to be funny, but anyways, stand up is resistance. Don't forget that. And when the jokes aren't funny, it's extra resistance. But yeah, somebody called me a terrorist sympathizer recently. By the way, I make it very clear, anybody who uses the word terrorist at this point, fucking racist. Okay? The word terrorist is a racist word. Every time you hear it, it's applied to the same type of person. Okay? Anytime you hear the word terrorist, okay? Unless domestic's in front, they're talking about Trump people, but any other, like, right? Even that, it's like, well, if they're white, they're a domesticated terrorist. You guys are like the wild feral terrorists, But it's such a fucked up word, and because, like, case in point, even when we have mass shootings, we have mass shootings in America. That's our national sport right now, right? Okay. And but here's the cool, we got shooters of all races. We're very egalitarian about it, right? But when there's a brown shooter, you'll hear the word terrorist thrown out. You'll be like, oh, was he part of ISIS? Was he radicalized? Like, don't bring math into this, okay? But they'll use the word terrorist. And when there's a white terrorist, you don't hear that. You hear like, oh, he was a lone wolf, or mental health is important. Let's talk about mental health. It's like, motherfucker, like, yes, of course, mental health is important, but why does it only come up with white villains? Why can't we also talk about the mental health of our brown villains? Like, you never heard anybody like, yeah, Osama bin Laden, he had like depression or some shit. Like, was it like seasonal affective? Yeah, September is now Mental Health Awareness Month. You never heard that. Meanwhile, there's like 2,000 documentaries. Like, was Hitler okay? Like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, don't give me that shit. So really, at this point, we have no other choice we either call everyone a terrorist, which we've tried, but it's not really working, or we have to take the word terrorist back and make it cool. Right? You know, I'm just saying. Yes, black people did it with the N-word. It worked for them. It's an idea, okay? We might have to cut out the hard T at the end. Okay? Like, what's up, my terrorists? You know what I mean? Like, or maybe we'll do it like a record scratch, like terror, error, you know? Or Gen Z will be like, I got killer charisma. It's terroriz. All right. No cap, guys. No cap. Okay. I think those were all the main ones I wanted to do. I think, by the way, my game of guessing someone's birthday within 9 questions, I've reduced it, actually. I can now do it in 1 question. I swear to God. I can tell you exactly what your birthday is with 1 question. So I'll pick from random of the audience. Let's do Tessa. Tessa, is it your birthday?
Not yet.
Oh, shit.
Wait, what is yours?
Then is your birthday November 8th?
The 9th.
Oh, so we're celebrating Tessa's birthday 2 days in advance? What the fuck are we doing, guys? What the fuck are we doing? Okay, so three questions now is
I'll change it.
yeah. Change your birthday for us so I can maintain my talent. All right, I think that was all that I wanted to do. I hope you guys had a good time. I hope this hour, I hope you like this hour. It's been elected. It's going to be out there for 4 more years. So, so enjoy it. Thanks guys for coming out. I hope you have a lovely night. I'll see you next time. Bye. Oh, go get a massage. Go get a massage on me.
You guys give it up for Sammy. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with us tonight. There we go. Buttons. All right. Before we officially get out of here, I am going to give a few more shout outs. So let's shout it out. You guys. All right, you guys, give it up for Catherine R. dropping another $5. Catherine, thank you so much. We appreciate you. You guys also, Reem, throwing out that love. Thank you so much, Reem. We're going to put you right over me. That's right. Now your name is both on Sammy's face and my face. Look at you. And you guys also, Kara Prentice, thank you so much, Kara. You are absolutely awesome. All right, you guys. That's enough for me. Thank you so much. I hope to see you guys in the near future. Take it easy, everybody. Goodbye.